Hello, my name is Luke Carthy and I am an e-commerce consultant, and I'm here today to talk to you about Doofinder and how it works, but also why it's so incredibly good at doing what it does, which is driving e-commerce sales and making it easier for customers to find what it is that they're looking to buy on your website. But before we get into that, I have some juicy statistics to throw at you to really whet your appetite. Number one, did you know typically 15% of people who search for things on e-commerce stores using the site search are yielded no results? They have nothing, just tears and frustration and really unhappy with what they haven't found. Doofinder has a really good solution for that, and we'll look at that in just a moment. And up to 30% of people who browse your website or your clients' websites or websites in general, which is a lot of people, will typically engage with site search, which is again a lot of people. And more so, people are 8 times more likely to convert when they use site search compared to people who do not. These are some big numbers, and Doofinder is very good at helping to get those good things out of your e-commerce store. More sales, happier visitors, and a great dashboard and a set of reports to really help you to optimize your experience as well. So without further ado, my desk is just out of shot here, so I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to bring the camera with me, and we'll take a look at what makes Doofinder so really very good. See you in a minute. Hello and welcome back. I am of course at my desk as promised, my comfortable awesome desk, and I'm going to show you the magic that happens inside Doofinder. And what better place to start than the dashboard? So if we pivot over to my desk for a minute, you'll be able to see my screen, and we're just looking at a dummy account at the moment for the last 30 days to give you a really good feel of the data and insights and information that you can extract from Doofinder. So you of course can't fail to see the top 3 graphs at the top. Almost 90,000 searches, a 51.1% click-through rate, which is great, that's brilliant, and a 4.6% conversion rate, which is good as well, albeit a downer from the previous month, which is something that in Doofinder you can go away and take a look and find out what that's about, whether it's a product being out of stock, whether it's a change in demand, whatever it is, you now have the tools in Doofinder to go and find out what that is. But yes, without further ado, let's get into the dashboard. The one thing I really like about Doofinder straight off the bat, besides those 3 graphs at the top, is the fact that you can split everything between desktop and mobile. Now what's typical, depending on the vertical you're in and whether you're business to business or business to consumer, typically 60 to 70% of traffic will now predominantly be mobile, with the remainder being desktop. But it does change depending on whether you're on business to business. If you are in the world of B2B, I would expect that to be a higher proportion of direct of desktop traffic. But what I would also say is it also depends on territory and country and where in the world you're looking at. But the great thing is you can split that experience. So if we take a look at desktop for a moment, we can see roughly about 25% of the searches came from desktop, which yielded a slightly lower, or actually quite a lot lower click-through rate, but a slightly higher conversion rate, which is typical with desktop. People typically convert higher on desktop than they do on mobile. And if we switch across to mobile, we can see an impressive 69,000 searches on mobile with a much higher click-through rate and of course a slightly lower conversion rate. So that allows you to understand, and this whole dashboard, which we'll scroll down and take a look at in a moment, is you can look at split by device or just look at everything holistically. So to keep this video simple and nice and straightforward, let's go back to all. And we're also looking at a 30-day window as well, but of course you can take a look at whatever date range you want, last 7, 15 and so on. So let's get into the meat of this, and what we can of course see is a very bird's eye view, top level perspective on the number of searches, clicks, and a line graph with conversion rate plotted against it for the 30 days. And we can of course see that early January was where it peaked, and things have kind of waded off a little bit now, and that could be time of year, seasonality, against stock, whatever that is. There could be a bunch of factors, but that gives you a good idea of the health, if you like, of your performance for your site search. And what's really important to mention as well, if we compare this to things like your native Shopify site search experience, your native WooCommerce, BigCommerce, or even if you built something bespoke or Magento, whatever your flavor is of platform. Often the problem with tools and systems like this is if they do come with reporting, it's very, very limited, which is unfortunate. And that's if you get any at all. And secondly, the behavior and the brains, if you like, behind what's happening in terms of when you search for a search query are a heck of a lot more basic. And they really let you down in terms of conversion. So this is a great start. Doofinder is where we should be. So let's scroll down a little bit further and dig into this data some more. So as you can probably work out quite quickly, this is a retailer that sells shoes, footwear, trainers, shoes. Dr. Martens, big fan, and you can see quite quickly that their top search is, of course, Dr. Martens, with almost 3,500 searches this month. That's a lot of people that want Dr. Martens shoes. And if we click on that, we can also then see the actual top 5 products that people would have clicked on as a result of searching for Dr. Martens. And to show you how that experience works for a second, let's just switch to another retailer here. So I've just searched for trainer. If I search for, I don't know, shoes, these are the items that appear in the recommendations, and of course when I click these are the items that were clicked based upon a particular search query, right? So that's what this is reporting here. And it's the same for all of these, UGG slippers, Converse, and so on. So you get the top 5 results for every single search query. And then your average click-through rate. And as you can see, there are some particular search queries that have a much higher click-through rate than others. So what I'd like to pay attention to, or what I would be paying attention to as someone in the world of e-commerce and is looking at optimizing and squeezing out every last drop of performance from site search, is understanding what particular queries people are searching for that has a low click-through rate, which means they haven't really found what it is they're looking for. We then, of course, come across the top clicked. And if we look at the report here, we can quickly think about, if this is the item that's clicked a lot, does it also sell really well? If it doesn't sell well, what is the issue? Is it a price perspective? Is the product description not descriptive enough? Is the image not great? Because there's real opportunities in what people are looking for here. And you can be pretty damn sure if they're searching for it, and especially if they're clicking on it, they have an intent to purchase it. Remember what I said at the beginning, that people that use site search up to 8 times more likely to buy than people that don't. If someone is searching for something, there's a very, very good chance that they want to buy it. So we need to make sure we optimize that experience as effectively as possible. But what I really love about Doofinder is the ability to really, filter out and identify where your top opportunities lie. In, of course, as you guessed it, the top opportunities section. Now, top opportunities are basically where Doofinder struggled to find results. It found something, but maybe not many, maybe 1, 2, or the relevancy of that search query wasn't great. So it's not quite as aggressive as it found nothing, but there's a real opportunity to optimize and really kind of help the customer find what it is that they are searching for. Now, the elephant in the room right here, of course, is Nike, or Nike, depending on which part of the world you are on and what your personal preference is on setting that brand. There's 302 people this month who searched for Nike. That is a pretty sure indicator that, if you don't currently sell Nike as a retailer, which it looks like this retailer doesn't, more should be sold. More should be sold because there is people actively spending time and are 8 times more likely to buy Nike than people that don't search for Nike, right? So, huge opportunity. And then below it, we have Nike, Nike, I guess without the E, if you like, and I'm assuming that's going to be related. So you could argue that 422 people are looking to buy Nike something, whether it's footwear, whether it's clothing, whether it's accessories, whatever it is. But you now have, the source of data, the source of opportunity to go away, investigate, find out what people are looking at, what they're looking for, and really optimize that shopping experience for your customers. Next, of course, we have UGG, which is a typo, and we'll come back to that in a moment because Doofinder has a perfect solution to rectify this and turn that opportunity into sales. Adidas, similar situation, I imagine. They don't sell Adidas and they really should think about it. Red Wing, VEH, which doesn't strike, it doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm sure that means something to somebody, and there's 47 searches for it, so it's worth taking a look into. Steve Madden, ladies' Ugg slippers, there's a lot of great opportunities here. And every single one of these opportunities is, as it says on the tin, an opportunity to generate a sale, to make a customer happy. So we'll go through the entirety of the dashboard, and then we'll come back to the top opportunities in a moment and how we can optimize for that using Doofinder. So this is where the real creme de la creme opportunities are, because these are, in fact, before we get into specifically to Doofinder, let's just talk about no results for a minute, because no results are huge opportunities. These are things that people are showing strong intent of wanting to buy. Whether they've spelt it right or not, they have an intention of buying something, or have a much stronger intention of buying something than someone who is just browsing the site. So if they're searching for something and you have no results, and there's a lot of searches for it, hey, you are practically throwing money away at the moment, especially if it's something that's in your reach. So right now we have 29 people who have searched for student, and I would take a wild guess that this is all about people who are looking for some sort of student discount, student offering, and that sort of thing. And we can kind of confirm that, because 2 lines down we then have 11 queries for student discount exactly. Delivery 9. Jordan, which I'm going to assume is Jordan, which is, of course, is a sub-brand of Nike and everything else. So there's a lot of gold here to tap into. And it's right there in your Doofinder reports, right? Couldn't be any easier. No need to go and dig, no need to go and run complicated reports, no need to go and speak to your data scientists or other departments. You log in and it's right here on your dashboard. Now let's take a look into how we can fix and turn these opportunities and bits of data into real ways to grow sales and make customers happy. So let's start with IG. I think we saw in the top opportunities here a second ago. If I go back, yeah, here we go, IG, IGG. Now, I'm going to make a strong assumption that this is a typo for UGG. Could be wrong, but follow my hunch. So there is a way in which we can do this, and that is with synonyms. Now, Doofinder out of the box has some really, really good handling for typos. So, but the challenge is with typos, when you only have a handful of letters, in this case 3, it can be difficult to understand what that is. And of course, when it comes to brands, brands aren't really words as far as dictionary is concerned, not always. So Adidas, if you spell Adidas wrong, it's not always crystal clear that Adidas is a brand. Although Doofinder might do a better job of that because there's more letters. But when you have a brand that isn't really in the dictionary and it's only 3 letters, on occasion Doofinder's going to miss it. But the great thing is it reports it straight in the top opportunities or no results reports. And this, in synonyms, is how you fix it. So here, all you would do is type in, if you've already got a whole list of synonyms in here, you can search and filter for those. But I would search IG and then stick UGG next to it. Hit save on that, and whenever someone searches for IG, Doofinder's got to interpret that as UGG, and that's going to therefore connect that particular user or people who have misspelt UGG to the right brand. And it's the same for Jordan, right? We saw an example earlier which was Jordan without the N. We could do exactly the same thing here if Doofinder hadn't detected it, but I'm pretty sure if Jordan was available for sale as a brand, it would have picked it up as a result of that because it's a partial match, so that would have been fine. And that is really where the money's at, because Doofinder has reported to you the top searches, the top opportunities, and what people have searched for that has yielded no results, and then has given you a really easy way to go away and rectify it without having to speak to anyone, really. Just jump in and do it yourself. Hit save, test it. But this is kind of, speaking of testing, this is where the playground comes in. So if let's save this, and let's go to Playground for a moment. The beautiful thing about Playground is, it's literally that. It allows you to use Doofinder without impacting the statistics, the data, and tracking bits of information you're throwing at the search engine. So you will not give him false positives. So you can go away in the playground and type in IG, UGG, Adidas, Jordan, whatever the search query is, as many times as you want here, without artificially increasing and creating red herrings in terms of web traffic. Not really a big issue if you're talking about an enterprise site, but if you've got lots of different people working on site search and typing in lots of things internally, it can quickly add up to providing slightly inaccurate data. So the beauty of the playground is you can test to your heart's content. You can search for whatever you want and it won't affect your Doofinder stats, and also it won't, of course, go through to Google Analytics either. Let's go back to ITS for a moment, and we can talk about basically what I like to call a compromise between a redirect and showing a bunch of results that may not be the best experience. And that is banners, which of course you can control in Doofinder as well. And this is a really, really good example of how that works. So, what was the brand? If I search for Hilti, before I even hit enter, but I've just hit enter anyway, but before I even hit enter, you can see here that as I've searched for Hilti, ITS has given me a banner that says, look, are you looking for Hilti? If you are, unfortunately we don't stock Hilti, but we do stock Milwaukee. Anyway, I don't know how to say it, but what I do know is Milwaukee, that brand, is pretty expensive, pretty premium, and actually creates some really heavy duty equipment that a lot of tradespeople recommend. So the great thing about this is, although it's unfortunate that Hilti isn't available, and that's what I was looking for as a user, there is an alternative choice to either showing no results or showing irrelevant results that aren't going to help. So you can really start to accommodate and build an experience and provide the customer with an alternative choice rather than no choice at all. And that can be controlled inside Doofinder as well, just in the banner section. So this particular retailer has built one for Reebok. I would imagine it's a similar situation. Reebok is a brand that they don't stock, so as a result of that, they show a banner that says blah, blah, blah. Or it could even be that there's an incentive or an offer or a promotion on Reebok and they want to shout about that because they sell it. It's a brand that they sell. But the point is, you can take care of all of that in Doofinder. So we've spoken about the dashboard and all the kind of data you get from here, the note results, which I love, the kind of top level performance in terms of how you're doing, top search, top queries, top opportunities, top clicks, although you could say queries and searches are the same thing, no results, which is massively powerful, and you can download everything as well. So if you wanted to just take it away, import it into something else or present that data as you wanted to, you absolutely can. Lastly, what I am going to sell no results, which has just popped up into here, or I didn't spot it before, is these numbers, 26006207, this one here. Now, for a lot of retailers and clients I've worked with in the past, this can happen quite a lot. And these are gold. These are gold. So on the surface, these might look like ambiguous, accidental types and just mistakes that people have typed in. Maybe it's bots, maybe that sort of thing. In most cases, they aren't. And what they could be is your SKU, right? Your primary identifier. So imagine I'm in Marks and Spencer's or whatever clothing retailer you are in your respective country. If I'm looking in store and there's a thing on the hanger, a thing on the rail that I really like the look of, maybe it's not in my size, maybe I want to find out if it's cheaper online. What a lot of people will do is look for the item code or the SKU or the model number or whatever it is and type it in on the website. That is probably one of the purest forms of I want to buy something right now and I want to buy this specific item you will ever have. When people take the time to search for a string of numbers, an alphanumeric number, which on the surface looks irrelevant, but when you think about it, is huge, right? So Doofinder can, and you can speak to the Doofinder specialist about this, but they can import your SKUs, your item codes, any other necessary kind of bits of information that you want to search against. And this is beautifully relevant for business to business or catalogue or mail order companies where, let's be honest, your item codes are really, really important. So yes, that is a roundup and a quick stop tour of Doofinder, how it works, how it does its thing, and how you can use the data it gives you to make your search convert better than ever. So thanks for checking me out. Yeah, I'm Luke Carthy, and yeah, any questions, reach out to the team and they'll be able to help you. Take care.